Well, much of the media have mocked the existence of unidentified flying objects. The U.S. Pentagon has been studying this subject for quite a long time and apparently will soon release some of its findings, which remain classified. According to a new report in the New York Times, the U.S. government may have physical evidence of, and we're quoting, off-world vehicles not made on this Earth. The government has also released footage of UFO sightings, including a 2004 encounter recorded from an advanced Navy fighter jet. Tell us if you think this is being misinterpreted. According to the New York Times, the U.S. government has physical evidence of some sort of vehicle made not on this Earth. Is it what it sounds like?
Well, it sounds that way to me, Tucker. I just, I never want to speculate what the government truly has, but I would say...
This guy's name is Eric Davis. This is the guy who's briefing the Pentagon for the statements that were said. Let's learn a little bit more about him before I tell you more.
I'm the senior research physicist here, and my doctorate's in astrophysics. And my background is in quantum field theory and general relativity, and I apply those fields to an applied physics research area that I specialize in called breakthrough propulsion physics. And it's about the physics of propulsion for interstellar flight. And the breakthrough means we're trying to go beyond the means or beyond the limitations of Newtonian rocket propulsion physics, which has limited us to speed, limited us to how much we can fly into space, and instead try to find ways to go faster into space, reach, go further, faster out into deep space, even reaching the nearby stars as well as the outer solar system. And it also entails studies on whether we can break the light speed barrier or not using the current laws of physics.
Eric W. Davis has been giving classified briefings to the Defense Department agency as early as March, informing them of UFO knowledge previously considered classified, which in turn has caused more people in the government, such as Marco Rubio, head of Senate Intelligence Committee, to start to question more about this whole UAP thing. However, it gets more interesting. Davis's old boss, Dr. Hal Puthoff, was working for the Pentagon previously as a Department of Defense research scientist. He would leave and go on to co-found a company called To the Stars Academy, alongside with a man named Tom DeLonge, which is working towards UAP disclosure. You might have seen this video.
My gosh!
That was released by To the Stars. Yeah, they know a thing or two.
We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
A lot of really cool and interesting things are happening right now. The media should be giving this a little bit more attention. While there has been some publication, this should be making national headlines.
About retrievals from, quote, off-world vehicles not made on this Earth. So,
what?
There you go.
That is crazy.
Most of us feel this way.
Are we alone?
No, look, here's the interesting thing for me about all this, and the reason why I think it's an important topic, okay? And that is, we have things flying over our military bases and places where we're conducting military exercises, and we don't know what it is, and it isn't ours. So that's the legitimate question to ask. I would say that, frankly, that if it's something of outside this planet, that might actually be better than the fact that we've seen some technological leap on behalf of the Chinese or the Russians or some other adversary that allows them to conduct this sort of activity. But the bottom line is, if there are things flying over your military bases and you don't know what they are because they're not yours, and they exhibit potentially technologies that you don't have at your own disposal, that to me is a national security risk and one that we should be looking into. And so that's the premise I begin with.
Let's clear this up. Who would be looking into this? And they would be generating some sort of a publicly available report on, you're not using the phrase unidentified flying objects, you have another euphemism for it, unidentified aerial phenomenon, which is not.
I didn't come up with that. That's the one that the military uses internally, and ultimately, that's the one we used. And what we're saying, so the Office of Naval Intelligence, this has impacted the Navy for the most part. I've seen reports on this now for the better part of a decade. Other countries have had similar reports, and so, but for our perspective is, there is someone flying in the airspace that no one else is allowed to fly in, and we don't know who it is, and it isn't something we have. We need to know what that is. I mean, that's in my mind, I mean, I don't understand why we wouldn't want to know what it is. Maybe there's a completely sort of boring explanation for it, but we need to find out. And so that's really what we're asking about. And we're asking them to make public as much as possible that information. None of that really fits into the mold of classified per se.
All right, but what's your gut? Are we alone in the universe, or is there something else out there?
I don't have a gut feeling about it because it's a phenomenon. It's unexplained. I just want to know what it is. And if we can't determine what it is, then that's a fact point we need to take into account. I wouldn't venture to speculate beyond that.